I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, July the 29th, 2016. Pope Francis made a historic visit today to the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp in Poland. The pontiff arrived in Poland on Wednesday and will be in the country for 5 days. At the death camp, the Pope met with survivors of Auschwitz, kissing and warmly and movingly greeting each one of them. The pontiff also met with Christian Poles who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust. Pope Francis made his way through the death camp in silence, where he prayed, mourned, and paid tribute to those murdered there. He placed a memorial candle at a monument in the camp and wrote in its memorial book, "Lord, have mercy on your people. Lord, forgive so much cruelty." 1.1 million people were killed at Auschwitz between 1940 and 1945, among them some 960,000 Jews and over 100,000 non-Jewish Poles, Roma, Soviet prisoners of war, and others. Pope Francis is the third pope to visit Auschwitz. John Paul II visited the death camp in 1979, and Pope Benedict visited in 2006. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu marked Egypt's Independence Day, known as Revolution Day, yesterday at the home of the new Egyptian ambassador to Israel, Hazem Kairat. Netanyahu spoke at the official reception, where he said that the peace between Israel and Egypt had survived much turbulence and was now a, quote, anchor of stability and security in our region, adding that the 1979 agreement made history by showing the world that peace between Arabs and Israelis is possible and sustainable, and that there was so much the two countries could accomplish together. Netanyahu also thanked Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for his efforts to advance peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin also spoke at the reception and called Egypt a, quote, strategic partner in security, commerce, and regional cooperation. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres was treated by doctors overnight last night at his home after experiencing chest pains. The 92-year-old was said to be suffering from atrial fibrillation, an abnormal heart rhythm. Peres' doctors decided not to hospitalize the former leader once his rhythm returned to normal. Peres was taken to the hospital and treated back in January for a similar issue. Jewish record producer, manager, and lyricist Sandy Pearlman has died. Pearlman is most known for his work with classic rock band Blue Oyster Cult. He was also a professor at McGill University in Montreal and also taught at the University of Toronto, where he created courses in the departments of music and English, among others. Pearlman died on Tuesday at the age of 72 in Marin County, California. The Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations launched a national initiative this week opposing the bias against Israel in the United Nations. Conference Chairman Stephen Greenberg and Executive Vice Chairman and CEO Malcolm Hoenlein released a statement on Tuesday supporting the declaration opposing discrimination against Israel at the United Nations, a campaign to counteract anti-Israel actions at the UN. They said despite the efforts led by the United States together with Israel and a handful of other countries, vitriolic anti-Israel rhetoric continues to intensify in UN resolutions, reports, and in the official statements from many member states. Greenberg and Hoenlein noted the Palestinians have been known to use the UN as a weapon against Israel, which has led to many anti-Israel motions. They said resolutions adopted in the General Assembly, the Human Rights Council, UNESCO, WHO, and various other UN-sponsored committees and events reveal an alarming intensification of baseless accusations and demonizing rhetoric against Israel. The declaration was presented to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, as well as to U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Permanent Representative of the U.S. to the UN, Ambassador Samantha Power, among others. It asks Ban to back the declaration and help to, quote, end the harm being done to the integrity and effectiveness of the United Nations and to right the egregious wrong to which Israel is subjected at the UN. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, July the 29th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock tonight from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed at 7:30 with the Hazamir Kfar Saba concert. Then at 8 o'clock, New York Jewish Stories with Gabe Pressman. At 9, the film Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. At 10, the story of the Knish. And at 10:30, it's Muzika with Chemi Rudner. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin offers his thoughts on this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, July the 29th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.